All right. Welcome to the Talk of Life Talk Show with Elma. Tonight we have two beautiful young women, fabulous women that's going to talk about interesting things tonight. So we're blessed to have them on the show. Before we get started, this is a Christian-based talk show. But anyone is welcome to come on the show if you're brave enough to tolerate these women up here, okay? All right. My co-host to my left is Linda. All right. My co-host on the right is Kimberly. All right. And our scripture, Philippians 1:6, being confident of this very thing, that he which has begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. And our other co-host that's coming up is Cynthia. All right, she made it. Okay. We know it's cold tonight, but anyway, we're glad to have you all here. Our motivational saying is, life is a change. Growth is an option. Introduction of our cast. Our guest tonight is Rochelle and Jeanie. I dream of Jeanie. All right. Well, let me rob out. I get a wish. Okay, so we're going to learn about their ministry, what they're doing in the community and their church tonight. We want to hear about it. So I was telling Rochelle today that we have fun on the talk show. And I know everybody up here is nervous. Me too. Ooh. So shake it off, shake it off. And so I was just sharing with her, just talk. We're just going to talk. Right. We're going to get into y'all business, y'all ministry, find out what's going on. I want you to tell us about your ministry, tell us how you got started, what fascinates you all to start this ministry, and let's start with that. What is it about? Tell us. Inquiring ears want to hear. Who's going to go first, Rochelle or Jeanie?
Rochelle.
Well, my name is Rochelle Harden, and I'm here to speak about Living Your Destiny Mentoring Program.
All right.
This started back in September 2009. What started it is I was comforting a distraught teenager who was pregnant, and I found myself telling her, you're not the first. You won't be the last. Right. And I walked away from that, and I was encouraging her to tell her that she can finish school, she can do this, she can call on me. But I walked away from that conversation saying, I need to do something to get in front of teenage pregnancy. Right. That shouldn't be the last thing or the only thing that I say to her. Right. So out of that bore Living Your Destiny Mentoring Program. I work with Jeanie over the summer, just kind of coming up with topics that we can talk to these little girls about before some little boy tells them they love them, and if you love me, you'll do this.
And that's the key right there. Right. This is what happened. They hear that if you love me, you'll give it up.
Nowadays, it's not just boys saying it, it's girls.
Yeah. Wait a minute, the girls saying it too?
Yes, wait a minute.
What are the girls saying?
The girls are saying that too. It's not
if
just
you
boys.
love me, you have sex with me?
Yes, ma'am. Y'all got to come to social media. You know, it's not just boys saying it to girls. Oh my gosh, no.
That was
maybe 40 years ago. But girls are out there wanting to do and be the hot item on the list. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So we
can't put it all on the boys. No, we can't put it all on the boys.
All right, well, I'm glad. See, I'm learning something tonight. Okay, tell us some more about what age group is this?
This age group is from the 7th to the 12th grade. So I wanted to deal with high school kids.
13.
We tried to deal with 12, but they were a little too young because we talk raw and dirty about sex. You know, we let the parents know that if they're able to ask us those questions, we're going to answer those questions. Right. Our meetings are the third Saturday of the month from September to May, and the parents are not invited to the meetings.
That's good. Why is the parents not invited to the meeting?
Because the girls won't talk to us.
Good.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
they can't be real.
Right. We want to gain their trust.
Right.
So when we gain their trust, we tell them, we're not gonna tell your parents what we talked about.
Good.
Y'all tell your parents what we talked
Right.
about.
That's
So
good.
everything that's in that meeting
It
stays
stays
in
in
that
that
meeting.
meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
Let me ask a question. Do they have to sign a consent? Because you having, young kids talking to, it's sort of like a counseling program, correct?
No,
It's
it's not
not.
a counseling
It's a
program. It's a
mentoring.
mentoring program.
Right.
So you won't have to have them sign no kind of
The
consent?
parents, I sent out a whole welcome package, and so the
Right.
parents have to sign a permission form.
Right.
And
Okay.
on that permission form, it lists all of the topics that we will be
Oh, that's
discussing.
good.
Oh, well, that's good.
That's
So
good.
that's listed on a permission form, and then that first meeting, I speak with the parents to let
Okay.
them know
That's good.
who I am, who my co-sponsor
Right.
is, what we do, what we'll be talking about. And if they're uncomfortable with us talking to their child about health, their bodies and sex, perhaps this is not the program for them.
Right.
Because I was gonna say, how is your program different than Girl Scouts? I mean, is it like, do you see these girls outside of just these Saturday meetings? Do you mentor them outside of the time that you see them just during those encounters?
Yes, we do. We
Okay.
go to, if they are athletic, we go to their volleyball games. And, you know,
Oh.
I've helped whatever they needed me to do. I mean, we try to be there for them, and that's our deal.
Support,
We want to be
yeah.
there for them, no matter what. If they need to just talk to us about something, they have our phone numbers. They can email me. There's a lot of them that
And
are
they can
getting
email
ready
you
to-
outside of the Saturday?
Yes.
About
Yes.
something other
Oh,
than
Yes,
just
good.
meeting up?
definitely.
That's
That's
beautiful.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
in school, they used to have it when I had my little teenagers. We had to sign a consent anyway for them to take the health class and all that stuff, because they would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
entertaining
right.
these questions and talking about sex and having babies. And we would have to sign a consent for them to do that
Right.
in the school. I don't know if it's in all school, but I know
Yeah.
when they was going to Crowley, they had to do that.
that.
You know, so how many do you usually have in your class?
It's usually ranging between 10 and about 13.
Now that's good.
Yeah, this is a
That is
very
good
good.
to have that
That's
many.
very
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a free program.
Uh-huh.
We started this with the young ladies from our church
Okay.
10 years ago.
Oh, that's good. Wow.
So we started with the young ladies at our church, and so it has been just word of mouth. A lot of
Okay.
it's been word of mouth. And a lot of the girls stay with us from 7th grade, and they come back from 7th grade all the way up to the 12th grade. So we have these girls, we're in their lives
That's
for
awesome.
that period of time. I mean, I saw a couple of the girls that graduated from the program just on Saturday evening, and one of them said, "I really missed the Living Your Destiny program," and that made me feel good.
I know.
to
Well, they
know
have to
that
come
they
back
missed
in
it.
and
Right.
help the other kids.
And some of them have come
Oh,
back
that's
that have
good.
gone on to college. They've come back. They've spoken to the girls and let them know, hey, this what
is
helped us
good.
and so
That's
forth.
very
So we do a lot. We build their self-esteem. Our very first meeting that we had in '09, you know, Jeannie and I had encountered some very low self-esteem with a couple of the young ladies. And after that meeting, I looked at her and she looked at me and I go, I don't know if we're ready for this. But with God,
I know that's right.
we were able to get through that, and we've watched over 30 young ladies graduate high school.
That is
No,
That is
dropouts,
awesome.
no teenage pregnancy.
What?
That's even
And
better.
I'm happy to that.
Wait a minute,
because
you
that
got to
was the
repeat
goal.
that again. You said
Out of all
no
them 30
teenage pregnancies?
Pregnancies. No.
Get out of here.
They've all graduated that have come through
Now
this
that is
program.
something.
Absolutely, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
Yes. Wow.
Let me ask
being-
a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, since you mentoring the parents, have you ever ran into any parent that say, you know what, I don't want my daughter, do y'all do males as well?
No, I can't teach a man how to
Okay.
be.
You're not going to even talk about it.
I
So
can't.
the parents say, well, I don't want her in this program. Have y'all ever ran into
After she just started.
I
Yeah.
ha-
negative
I've had
family? I
one
mean,
parent that,
parent.
did not agree with the program, and that was fine, because
That's
this
right.
program is not for everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
Because my thing is, I tell the parents, I don't want your child if they don't want to be here.
There you
Okay,
go.
but what if the child wants to be
Come.
there?
Well, you
And
can't
the
do-
parent, so you cannot
I'm not gonna overstep the
Right,
parent,
overstep,
because
right,
what we're doing is something that the parents should be doing anyway.
right.
I'm a firm believer of that.
Wow.
What we're doing is something that a parent should be doing.
Right.
You know, it's life skills. That parent should be encouraging them.
That's right.
Their self-esteem.
Right.
That parent should be teaching them how to cook.
Well.
That parent
Well,
should be teaching them
well.
how to budget. That parent should be
That's so
telling
true.
them how to
we
get
doing
into
that now?
college and taking them to
Right.
college tours.
Right,
I'm doing
right.
things that a parent
Should
do.
be.
I had a parent that didn't know how to do some of those things, but she had a wide enough net to where I was mentored by my mother, my aunts, my
Yes, like
grandmother.
the village.
You know, there was a village there.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
a group of people. It's not just one
It's
person.
not
just
one person.
Because no one person can teach your child everything.
Everything.
Because
No.
kids don't always listen. Let's face
No.
it. They don't always listen. They may
No.
sometimes listen to an outsider more than
Can
they
help,
listen to
yeah.
the inside.
Exactly.
And you could be saying the same thing at the house, and they think that you don't know anything.
You
Right.
old school.
Yeah, you old
That's what I
We
hear.
done
You old
changed.
school from these
Exactly.
kids.
We
Yeah.
changed.
Exactly.
That's what they say today.
But I see that you all invest so much in these girls that you really don't want someone that doesn't want to be there, because you're investing so much into
time,
these
yeah.
girls. So they're not going to be receptive
Right.
to
Exactly.
what you have to offer. They don't need to be there. And I understand that, because when you know what you're worth, you don't have to go beg for people to participate.
Right.
What you want is people that want this information.
So is there a
Right.
cost?
There is no
There's no
cost.
cost. Now, is it at your church, or this is outside of your church?
church.
This
This
is your
is-
own ministry separate from a church?
This ministry started at New Vision Christian Church. So New Vision Christian Church is a part of this because that's our church home.
Now, I understand when you say
And so-
started, the church created it, like it's
No,
part.
I created
You just
it.
started at the church,
I
but
just
it's not the
started it.
church's ministry.
It's part of our ministry that
Okay.
we
Yeah.
have there. Yes, yes, it's part
So
of.
that's
the
where
ministry.
you all meet at, is at the church? Okay.
We meet at New Vision Christian Church,
That's
1329 Glen Garden Drive.
So do you have to be a member of a church? Do you have to be a Christian?
No,
No.
Okay. That's
You don't have to be a
good.
member of your church. You
No.
can be
Anybody
any
can
church.
come.
Anyone,
No.
anybody can
Whether
come.
they're
Anybody.
Christian or not Christian.
Right.
That's good, because you have a lot of people out there that's
That's
not
right.
Christians.
Christians that
This
want
will
to
be
need
an
that
invitation
Right.
for them to
Right.
come and join, or just know about Jesus. And
Right.
do y'all
Have Christian
talk
values.
about Jesus in this?
do.
Or
We do.
okay, so you can talk
So they
about
know up
it.
front you're going to discuss
Yeah.
the Bible.
right.
Oh, that is
That's good.
awesome.
That's
So
good.
when these girls come into the class and they feel free to talk and they trust you all, so does any of the girls go out and tell what goes on in the class, or have
Yeah,
y'all
they
had
tell
that?
their friends.
Okay.
And that's how it grows.
Okay,
Because
good.
they've told their friends, and their friends wants to be a part of it and everything. So that's how it grows.
Because from
Okay.
7th to 12th grade, if it's not close, you're definitely going to have to either know how to drive to get there on your own, or your parents will have to drop you off. Because most 7th graders don't drive, right?
Right.
But
Well, you don't know that.
well, I mean,
You
they
know,
can't
some
take-
7th graders
Well,
are
I'm saying
driving.
they can't take their parents' car and drive.
But you don't know
My
that.
son
Right.
did.
You don't know that, but
Oh,
some of
you
these
don't know.
kids. No, you
Not
got
from Grand Prairie on a regular basis
Oh,
to come to
girl.
a class.
My
Girl.
They ain't even going to high
You know
school.
these kids are getting their high
Elma, they not
road.
even going to high school.
Girl,
No,
please.
they not learning about sex. You got all this on live. You got all this on
I'm not
live.
that
surprised
is
what
true.
these kids, because you, that little 13-year-old just was on the news that stabbed that girl they just had on the news.
Yeah, Stanley.
You can't say what these
Well,
kids
I'm
want
saying
to do.
generally to come to something
I
like
know,
this.
I'm just messing
I'm
with
just
you,
saying,
Kimberly.
They're not going to be there. They're going to go do something wrong and take your car. But they ain't trying to do right and take your car. Yeah,
They're
They ain't gonna-
stealing. But if they stealing to come to this here,
Then they really want to know.
they really want to come if they want to come to this here. Okay.
I want to mention that we, in starting this, that God is definitely be in the midst of this, because everybody who has volunteered to work with us has not charged us anything.
That's good.
We have
that's
vendors.
2 chefs that teach
good.
a cooking class.
Good. They need that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
And
That's
so
good.
we teach the class at Tarrant Area Food Bank. We only had to pay
Where that
1
is.
year. And the lady talked about how well mannered the girls were and things, to where we don't even get charged.
Was that Queen Bee?
Yeah.
I work well with Queen Bee.
Yeah, so we're not
Yes,
even
yes.
charged, you
I
know,
love
so
Queen
we
Bee,
have that. We
honey.
have doctors that
Yes.
come, nurse practitioners
Yes.
that come and speak with the girls.
Yeah.
We've got other professions that come and talk with the girls. So it is it's just blossomed into something that we feel is a need. I wanted to pay it forward because I got it growing up. Somebody was there for me.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to make sure that I'm there for them. Last year was our first year. We got some grant money. So last year was our first year.
That's awesome. So you have to have a good program to get
Grant money, you sure do.
Yeah,
Because
it
you
takes a
gotta
lot.
write
Things
those
you can't
grants and
say,
you gotta
yeah.
do all of that stuff.
Everything they
Ooh,
say.
mercy. So we were
Yes.
able to give out some very small scholarships to
That's
our
good, yeah.
seniors,
Yeah.
you know, that were
It's a
graduating,
scholarship.
some book scholarships.
Yeah,
So,
that's good.
That's real good.
so we're always looking for sponsors.
Hey, they're looking for sponsors, you all. So please help sponsor. What is it called?
Living your destiny.
Living your destiny. And that is so encouraging because we have a lot of young ladies out there that do not have parents that are even capable of teaching them because they're trying to still be young.
Right.
The mothers are still trying to be young. And then the mothers are grandmothers now. So they have a lot on them. So this is a good organization where these kids can come and vent.
Yes.
Because a lot of them want to vent. And
Yes.
sometimes the parents are not listening.
Right.
You know, they're not listening. Because my two nieces that I was trying to keep, I was sharing with you, I think I talked to them today
Yes.
about them. And I enjoyed them, you know. One of them I had raised from 3 weeks old. And the other one I got, well, she was already up there in the teenage. But when I had them, I had fun with them because I would get in the bed and we would talk and they would tell me, they could ask me anything because that's how I was brought up.
Right.
It wasn't no birds and bees. It was the real
Yes,
McCoy.
it's the real
And my
McCoy.
mom taught us this, you know. I remember a story that my uncle and aunt was telling their kids to put a quarter between their legs when they go out on a date. And I'm like, what is that? Well, if you put a quarter there and the quarter break, I know they did something. What? The quarter, I can take the quarter, I still do something, come back in, you know. But yeah, that's how silly they were, and they didn't teach the kids. And one of my cousins ended up pregnant and didn't even know she was pregnant. She told me she didn't even know. She just thought her stomach was just growing. She didn't know nothing about that. And you know, so you hear all these things that are going. But these kids now, they know about sex.
Oh, yes, they do.
They already
But-
know.
And another thing I was gonna say, how did y'all handle the whole, I don't know if I'm bisexual type of situation?
you're
Because
gonna ask
I'm
that.
starting to notice that in this younger generation, they're so bombarded with that in the media and
not the
around
gender.
them. Now it's kind of, people say it's kind of cool to be gay. That's what.
Or even not
it's
they
cool to be
choosing their
bi. It's
gender.
cool to be everything
We-
but normal. You know, like
We have
regular.
not run into that.
Good.
But
I'm
have
glad you
y'all
haven't had to
thought
run
about
into
that?
it.
How-
But
how
Not
you
good.
would
You
work
want
that?
to run into that because you
Yeah,
want to be
okay.
able to give them a firm foundation.
Yes.
You want to run into that. That's why the gospel is here. You want to be able to share that with women and let them know that there's another perspective that God sees them, how God sees them. Because a lot of times they don't know how God sees them. So you want your ministry to run into that head on. It shouldn't even be anything you should be afraid of. Because if a woman doesn't know how God sees her, then she'll always see herself the way Satan sees her, right?
Because my 10-year-old son came home and told me there's a boy at his school, in his classroom, that his name is a boy name, but he's telling everybody to call him Karen. And he said the teacher is only calling him by his boy name, but all the students are calling him Karen. And this is a 10-year-old. And
starts young.
and this, so I'm saying it's out there. I mean, it's
Yes.
happening
Oh, yeah.
among them, whether they themselves are dealing with it.
Right.
They are
Or they get it
bombarded
from
with
the
it.
household.
Yes, and I was just like, I was kind of taken back, and I was trying to see where my son's perspective was with it. And he's like, I ain't calling him Karen. I said, okay. I said, you saying everybody else is calling him Karen, but are you calling him Karen? Because then
And
we
they're
gonna
trying
have
to
some,
pass
have
laws
some
that you do
conversations.
call, there's no
Right.
gender specific. You just, it's just one. You don't say he or she. And you still have to prepare your kids for that.
So
Always
what are
try
they
to prepare
saying
my
then?
boys.
If you
for
can't say
that.
he or she, is it a it?
You just call them by their name.
With whatever name
They're
they
trying
want
to
to be
pass
called by.
laws. You have
Wow.
to, in order to
It is law.
effectively minister, you have to know what's going on. And you can't be afraid of it, no matter what type of program. And if someone is coming to my program and I would have a mentoring program, I would want them to know what Jesus said. That's the point of mentoring.
Absolutely.
It's for them to know
They're right. They're right.
who Christ has called them to be, who how God sees them, right? It just can't be for
Absolutely.
people that are already
Yeah, but
saved.
I think what she is saying is that they haven't had,
An
it hasn't
encounter
happened
yet.
to them
Yeah.
yet.
Right. No, I was going off
So-
what Cynthia said, where she said,
Oh.
you know, that they hadn't run into it yet, and that's
Oh.
good. And I was saying, no, they should want to. Not that y'all said,
Well,
not that
well, I'm
they
saying it's
said
good
it.
that the children that aren't dealing with that internally, that they've dealt with.
Yeah, because they
but
have so much,
Yeah.
Because they're gonna wanna
kids
bring
today have
those
so
in.
much to deal with.
Right.
They do.
That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
suicide is so
When you
high.
instill
Exactly.
God into your mentoring, so you are
Program.
helping them. You
Yes.
know, and we're so into everything.
Everything
And
is
Everything is okay
And
now.
everything
Right.
is okay
Exactly.
now.
That's what I'm trying to
When
yeah.
actuality, everything is not okay.
God's been
So,
left
No,
out.
it's not.
And I applaud you too
I do
for
too.
doing
Taking
this.
that.
Because I think also I wanted to ask this question. You are the mentoring, and then the parents see how the kids are
Changing,
acting, changing
yeah.
and stuff. Has anyone ever, one of the parents came to you and said,
Thank
you know
you.
what, you're doing so much better, she's doing so much
That's
better.
good.
Can I come?
And
You
observe.
have parents
You know,
that,
And observe,
you have-
y'all.
yeah, that's a good question though.
Can I come since she's learning this, and if it's okay with my daughter, and the others
But
that's
then
in the
that's-
group,
yeah, but
can
the
I come
privacy.
and sit in and share?
I have had parents to ask that question, and I said, I will have a class for parents, but I do not want to have them in it because
Yeah.
it alienates
On a
the
regular
girls.
Right.
basis. You don't want them there on a
It
regular
alienates.
basis.
Now, we
Right.
do have sessions where the parents are invited to come.
Right.
We do have workshops or whatever,
Okay.
like when we
Okay.
had a suicide and mental health awareness workshop, parents were invited to come
Right.
to that session. But for our monthly meetings, I frown upon it because what I want to do is improve that relationship
Right.
between that daughter and that
Yes,
parent.
that's
And
good.
the only way to improve that relationship
Right.
is
There.
once you pick your daughter up, ask her what we talked about.
That's right.
Ask her
Start
what we
the
discussed
communication,
today.
yeah.
That starts that communication. So that they don't have to sit in to hear what I'm saying. Because I've already told them from the beginning, I'm an open book.
Right.
Good.
If
Good.
you,
good.
like I say, if you have
Ask.
a problem,
Right.
this
Put 'em
is,
in there.
let me
Exactly.
know. This
Right.
may not be the program for them. But what we do is the girls know that at the end of the year in May, we have a big recognition luncheon down at the
Oh,
Fort
that's
Worth
good.
Club.
Oh, I
And
love the
they-
Fort Worth Club. I love it. I love
So they are responsible for telling everything that they learned. So each of them get
Kinda
up
like a
and they pick a subject of what we've talked about. And they get up and they tell us, the parents, whoever they invite, they tell
that's
them
good.
what they learned. And then on that Sunday, which is our annual Women's Day, during that program, they have to get up and speak and talk about
that sounds
what
so
they've
good.
learned.
That's good.
So how long is the class? Is it, you say from September? What?
From
September?
September to May. So it's
To
a
May.
9-month program.
Oh,
And
that's
we meet
good.
with them
Wow.
monthly
Okay.
for 2 hours.
That's
And
what I
then
was gonna ask you next.
sometimes we meet more than that.
Okay.
In November, we met more than once because we had other activities that we
Okay.
do. We've done things like Operation Christmas Child. They've made busy books so that we can take those to the hospitals.
Oh,
That's good.
So we do other things outside of the church.
Okay,
We do
good.
things, so
Right.
it I enjoy doing it. We took them on a college tour in October.
Where'd
We
y'all
went
go?
to Baylor and Waco.
Okay.
And
That's
so
good.
they went there. So we've been to all of the schools here locally. And so we are with money, more grant money, hopefully.
Let me ask another question.
Well, keep the
I'm sorry,
questions
I'm sorry.
coming.
but-
No, I love the questions.
The question is, how, the suicide ratio with y'all having these classes? Do they come in and talk to you about, I feel like killing myself, or I feel like this, things aren't going well at home, I don't want to be there anymore, and I want to take my life? And have you ever been presented with that? And if you're being presented with that, how do you
Approach it with the parent.
approach it, not with the parent at first, but with the person that saying that they want to kill themselves? And what are your categories? How do you go about doing it? Do you call the MHMR? I'm just asking. how do you go about?
Yeah, she look like, oh, you went over the top. You calling the authorities, but you have to sometimes.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you have to let someone know, if I think that, you probably train enough to know that if they're for real, or if they
just
just
asking,
act,
yeah.
or playing, because they done got upset with their parents, the parents
Don't
done
nobody love
pissed them
me.
off or
Yeah.
something like that. So how would you go about challenging them, and yourselves, because this is
This is serious,
suicide
yeah.
is serious.
Do you want to take that?
Yeah.
Well, back when we first started
Yeah.
in September 2009, we did have, that subject came up about suicide. And Jeannie and I were afraid of it at first because I was like, I don't know what to do with this.
Right, I can
But
understand that.
we prayed about it and we decided that we would just hold on to those girls. We
Right.
made sure that they had our contact information. We followed up with them daily,
Good.
weekly, and everything. We did not mention it to their parents. We did not. But they graduated through that program. They did very well, and we were blessed in that. Now here last year, we decided to talk about mental health because
Yes.
it is a big
It's a
thing.
big thing,
It's a
yes.
big thing. So it was one of our topics to be discussed.
Right.
We brought in a doctor that came in and spoke
That
about
was good.
suicide. They spoke about the signs and this, that, and the other. And so last May, this past May, when we talked about, I had a young lady to get up and talk about it and said that going to that workshop saved her life.
Oh,
Because she had been
that
bullied.
was awesome. Yeah, the bullying.
She
Yeah,
had
I was
been
gonna
bullied,
mention. Yeah.
and there wasn't a
Cutting
dry
yourself
eye in the
up.
room.
Wow.
And and matter of fact, I told Jeannie, I said, I think this is going to be our last year, doing this or what have you. And when that young lady got up and said that let me know that our work is not finished yet.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So we, this year, we had a bigger suicide mental health awareness. We partnered with a business organization that I'm a part of, the National Association of Business and Professional Women's Club.
Yes, yes.
So we partnered with that.
Pick up in the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. So we partnered with them, and we had a big workshop where we had all sorts of speakers that come out that were in that field,
In that field.
that talked to parents and the students and everything. So
That's good.
That's good.
did I
That is
answer your
awesome.
question?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
But those are some of the things that the kids are going through now. Is the suicide, the bullying, and they're walking around and they're not talking about it. Because a lot of them feel that their parents are not listening to them, or they feel like if they say something, because we've had incidents where they've gotten on Facebook and actually killed themselves, and everybody watching it, and you're hearing so much about kids nowadays in violence. And then you be wondering, are they in games? They have to do this stuff to be a part of a game, and when I address the kids nowadays, I try to get on their level so that they will talk to me so I can get it. That you have to, what they say, you have to bait the fish and get them in there and then get them to trust you like you all are talking about, and they'll feel good. But one of the things I really hate when I hear a child say, I can't talk to my parents.
And we hear that all the time.
Do you get it all the time?
We hear it all the time.
And I'd be like, why you can't talk? Because they will go back and tell somebody else, or they will do this or that. And that just irritates me. Because I could always talk to my mom, when she was alive. I could get in the bed. I don't care. She would say, whatever your nasty thing you think, let's talk about it. She didn't want nobody
But I
else
think
out
what
there.
what I'm hearing you say, that you just said, the key that most parents realize is if your child hears you talking about them to someone else, something that they felt was confidential,
Right.
and maybe your mom didn't do that.
No.
But if I try to tell people that if your child, you have to know that yes, it is your child.
Yes.
If they come and tell you something, or even if it's something that you see them do that you think is just yuck,
Yeah.
you don't have the right to go tell the next person because they're listening to you.
Right.
And if they're feeling some kind of way
Yes.
about dealing with the issue that, it could be
That's true.
periods, it could be
Yeah.
something that you think is so gross and you're on the phone or you're talking to somebody else
And they listening.
you're embarrassing that
Them,
child.
yes.
Right.
And you're forgetting that they're not just your child, they're a human being that has feelings. So although maybe with your mom, you can tell your mom anything, and you didn't have to worry about your mom going to tell your aunt, your uncle, your dad, or have this open thing where your friends come over and you know what Sally did last week? Because you feel like you're the mom and you have this type of, I guess, authority where you can just say whatever, but your child is embarrassed about it. But because they respect you, they're not going to say anything. They're just on the inside, they're shutting down.
Right.
And I see that
And they're not
happens.
going to come to you.
They're not going to come to you and say anything.
Right.
They just feel like, man, I told my mom that. I didn't expect her to go tell anybody. I didn't expect her to tell my dad. I didn't expect her to tell my brother, my auntie, everybody come over for Christmas dinner or whatever holiday it is. And that person begins to say what you did. And we forget that children feel embarrassed too. Right? They feel ashamed.
That's true.
They feel some type of way. But I think we as parents, we just feel, I can say anything. Girl, Sally did. Girl, she couldn't even, pass her test. I'm just so tired, yada, yada, yada. But you're embarrassing that person. And so then that's where the mentors come in. And that's why, and I see that happen a lot. I said, why don't you tell your mom that?
But
No.
sometimes parents need mentors as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yes,
there's not a
They're a big
book,
problem.
there's not a book that comes and say, how to raise your child.
Right.
Go to page such.
Yeah, go to page, for not to embarrass your child, go to page 10.
Yeah.
If you don't want no one to know, what's going on in our house, go to page 5. There's not a book that comes with that except for the Bible. Now, the Bible has that information. The thing is, are you willing to read what's the Bible instilling in us?
That's true.
So when y'all have your mentor, I think that's an excellent thing. But also, I think also that sometimes a parent needs a mentor.
Yeah.
Because maybe they was not raised the way they should have been. Because I found myself doing things that my stepfather did to me, to my son. And he wasn't my stepson or anything. And then I caught myself. I said, no, I'm gonna break this cycle.
Right.
So, sometimes the parent doesn't know what they're doing.
And they think it's right.
And they think it's right.
And it's not.
And it's
I
not
read
right.
Dr. Wayne Dyer, and one of the things he said that stuck out to me was that everyone has the same basic human needs. And if you realize what your basic human needs are, then you can identify with the next person. If you don't like being embarrassed,
Why don't you embarrass?
if you don't like being called out in front of someone,
Right.
if you don't like something that you just told someone else and that person turns and walk in the room, Linda just told me, girl, that she did such and such. And you're like, I just told her that. Why would she say that?
Right.
Same basic human needs. And when I learned that, I was like, okay, with my boys, I'll ask them first. Hey, you mind if I share this because I thought it was funny? If they say
Right.
no, I don't share it with nobody.
Right.
Sometimes I think that parents forget that they were once a child.
Right. That's
And
good.
I think that's the biggest thing, is that
It is.
those same feelings and they're being
Emotions,
curious
yes.
about things, they forget that I once upon had those same feelings. My
Right.
mother, God rest her soul, she's gone now, but she had 4 girls, there's 4 of us. And she used to say, y'all are all fast like your mama. Well, she took the sting away from if we had those feelings or whatever. She took the
Right.
sting away because she's like, I felt that way.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you for feeling that way. But now let me tell you what to do with those
that.
feelings.
There
Yes.
you go.
Yes.
Exactly.
There you go.
Let's talk about what to do with those
But
feelings.
we'll stop at just the feeling. We don't discuss how,
don't
like you
discuss how
said,
those feelings
what to
are.
do with those feelings.
Right.
Let's talk about
Or just
that.
ask them how they feel.
That's right.
We don't ask our kids how they. We don't ask
don't.
nobody how they feel. I just want you to feel the way I
Well, how
want
you
to feel.
doing?
Right.
And if I do tell you how I feel, you don't went on over and talking to somebody else.
Because
Thank you.
we'll
I
say
mean,
that, don't we?
and
Say,
you're still
how you
talking.
doing? But
And
a lot
I'm
of
still
times that's
happen
just
all
a-
the time. You
Yeah,
still,
that's
how
just
you
a
doing? I
habit.
get ready to tell you, you done walked all the way out the door, and I'd be like, and your
Because you
kids
said, I
sense
just
that.
asked, that's just a question. How you feel? Do you really want to know
Or
how I feel?
No,
Are
they
you
don't.
just saying that?
You're just
you
saying
know?
that.
And then too, you said that about growing up. But some parents' kids didn't really have a kid life. You know what I'm saying?
that's what it
Because some
was.
of them had to work at 12 and 13. Some of them didn't have that. They've been grown all their life, like. So they don't really know how to be a child. So here's a child trying to bring in a child,
Right.
and they think it's okay to get pregnant. Like you said, if you love me, you would give up your virginity for
Right,
me.
exactly.
You know,
Right.
then they get pregnant, and then the boy is gone, but the girl is stuck there with the child.
Exactly.
And they don't know because they're a child.
Yes.
And they're trying to raise a child. And they still in there, you know, you got grandparents now at the age of what?
36.
Or 30. Or 30, or 25. Because you got kids having babies at 12 years old now.
Right, that's right.
You know, so here
And
you
this is
trying to,
2019.
yeah. And then you got the parents saying now that the 30 is the new 20, the 40 is the new 30,
It sure
and the
is.
50 is the new 40.
It sure
So
is.
here they are out there trying to act like this. And most of them that used to come into my workshop when I was doing workshop at that time, most of these was in their 25 and 30 bringing kids in. And I'm thinking, this your baby? No, baby, this is my grandchild. Really?
Yeah.
Here I am in my 40s, don't even have any grandkids.
Right.
You know, and here they are, I got 3 or 4 of them, they tagging along, you know, and they're raising them. But like my niece in Audis, when she brought her kids, she was raising her daughter kids. And she raised them the way we was raised, old school way. And she would bring them up to the office, and they was little kids then, and they would be the most manable little kids. All these other kids running through there, we trying to pull them and make them sit. And they would sit there and they wouldn't move. Nowadays, you got kids cussing the parents out, and I be ready, ooh, hold my hand. I'm finna get them, you know, and I be like, And I had one lady, she brought her son in, and I was sitting there talking to him, and the little boy just kept running. And I said, baby, you need to get him. Oh, he'll be all right. I said, no, you need to get him, because if he fall, he climbing all over the chairs, and I'm up there trying to grit my teeth, just letting me get him. And finally, he crawled up under the table. I didn't know he was up under there. And he hauled off and just hit my leg. And I mean, he hit it.
Yeah.
And I grabbed him and I bam, and I said, oh Lord. You know? and he was so shocked, but I hit him back. You know, he hit me and I hit him back. But I hit him back from a reflex because of that. And he looked up at me like, and he sat down. I said, you go over there and you sit down. And he sat down, you know, and she said, oh, that was so cool. I looked out, I said, what do you mean cool? She said, because he's not used to that. I said, girl, I said, if you don't put, I said, the Bible said you need to train them up.
Train them up in the way they should.
You know, and I said, baby, if you don't start whipping him now, he was like 5 years old. I said, girl, he gonna end up in the penitentiary, his mama would say.
That's
Yes.
right.
You know, and they think that's funny to see those kids cussing them out and all of that. Did y'all have any of the young girls that came in there like the smart mouth, or, you know, talking back to their parents, or did the parents say they wanted them in the class because they are bad kids and their eyesight?
Again, I tell the parents, if your child does not want to be here, I don't want them here. And that's just from the get-go. Your
So even
child
if the
not so
parents
much-
wanted them to come
they
and be in
still
the
couldn't
program.
If the,
You-
if
if
the
the
young
kid
lady
didn't want to
did
do
not
it.
want to be, I mean, because she's
Even
not
if the
gonna
parents
benefit.
wanted that.
Even if the parents want,
You would.
because the child is
That's
not
right.
going to benefit.
There you go.
You're right
There
about
you
that.
go.
She's
You're
going
right.
to
Resist.
hinder
Right.
the other
Other
girls
development.
that
Right.
want to be there.
Right.
You're
With
right
the-
about that.
Yeah, with the negative
Now, I
attitude.
was gonna say,
Negative attitude.
do y'all have young women of your own that you've raised as well? Or
Do you have daughters?
you just pour into?
I have 4 children. They're all grown. They're all
Right.
grown.
Really?
Yeah.
You look so young. I mean,
Yes, you do.
you got 4 grown kids. Go,
Yeah,
girl.
I'm married into children. I'm
Okay.
married into children.
But
I have
you still
4
raise
grown-
them, don't you?
Yes. I have 4 grown children and 10 grandchildren.
Are they girls in
I
that
have
4?
2 girls and 2 boys.
Okay.
Wow, that's
Okay.
nice.
Girls
That's
and
very
2
nice.
boys.
Jeanie?
That's good.
I have 2 daughters and a son, and I have 7 grandkids.
Oh,
Yes.
But getting back to, we had one young lady, I don't know if I should say this or not, but she came in and She wanted to change our program.
Oh,
Then you always find those people.
Yeah, and I've been going, no, that's not the way this program is. But what can, instead of,
No.
starting at 10 o'clock, can't we start at 12?
No.
No, ma'am. No, we can't, yeah.
That's the one
wanna get
whose
up.
parent came up and then
Yeah.
I just said, this
Yeah.
is not the
Don't.
program.
So it's not for you, honey, because if you want to stay
So you're not
asleep-
necessarily dealing with troubled youth. You're
No.
dealing with people that
No.
are already,
Trying.
they're not giving you
Yeah.
so much a hassle. So if you're dealing with parents who were single parent, two-parent
Some are
families.
Some are
single,
single,
some
yeah,
are
some
two
two
parents.
So it's kind of like
Is
to me,
majority
it's kind of like a
single?
debutante type thing.
I would say the majority would be
Be single,
single.
yeah.
Uh-huh,
Single.
yes.
I figured that probably be that,
So you're not really helping girls that are dealing with drugs, alcohol. These girls have to already have said no to all these things before they can actually enter the program.
No,
It don't sound like you're dealing with troubled youth.
No, we
Troubled
haven't
girls.
had any trouble youth that come in. We haven't had any young ladies that come into the program that have issues such as
Jail,
drugs,
drugs,
in jail,
alcohol,
or anything,
jail,
nothing like that.
Homelessness.
No.
You all are blessed, because y'all
Very
been doing
much
this
so.
for what, 10 years now?
More like
You
a
all are
debutante
blessed.
program.
But the reason I asked about their personal lives is because the ministry balance, sometime when you have your own ministry and it's your baby, you kind of, this happened to me before, where you get so consumed with it. And since your children are already grown and your children are also
Grown.
already
Oh,
grown,
yeah.
you have a lot to give these girls. And I want the people that are listening that might be interested in your program, when you say that you're going and you're supporting these girls in their interests, you're going to their thing. You have that kind of flexibility because you don't have
Little kids.
your
I
own
don't-
in
no,
the
I don't
house,
have any
and
small
you
children.
also know the importance and the impact. Since you've raised children, you know how
That's
much that
good.
means to a child.
Right,
Because when
exactly.
someone, they can look out and see that you cared enough to stop what you were doing to come to something that was theirs, like
Now,
their
that's good.
recital,
Yeah.
their, because I have
Yes.
fake nieces and nephews, and I go to their stuff and they just light up when they see me.
Right.
Because I didn't have to be there.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
mama and daddy had to be there, but auntie took
Right.
she purposely came to this. So I wanted to bring that out because that's so big with kids, your time, your
Right.
effort, and not
Right.
always them coming
Right.
to you, but you
Exactly.
going to them.
And I think the biggest thing is improving their self-esteem.
That's it.
That's something that
Yes.
when I send the text
Yes.
message out to let them know we meet on Saturday, I always tell them, I'm looking forward to seeing your beautiful faces.
Those
When
beautiful words, yes.
embrace them, sweetie, swat. And if they're doing something that's not nice, I'm gonna say, hey, that's not ladylike. So we talk about etiquette and manners, and one of my sticklers, and they tease me about it, is thank you notes. I said, we so quick to text. I said, but we don't write.
Oh,
And I said, we don't
Dying art.
That makes
know.
it personal.
It does makes it personal.
Yes.
I make stationery for them. I send stationery to them so that they can write personal notes. When we gift them things, I expect a personal thank you note. Because I
That's
tell
being
the
lost.
story all the time. There was a young man that went up for a scholarship, and he was interviewed and everything, and he didn't get the scholarship. There was the young lady that got the scholarship, but he wrote them a thank you note.
That's good.
And he appreciated them interviewing him. Well, they found some money, and they gave him a scholarship because
They
he
don't see that.
wrote
Well,
a thank you note.
That's
The young lady that won the scholarship didn't say thank you, dog, kiss my foot.
See?
So it's important to do
Yes.
things like
Right.
that.
That's
It's important to take the time to write thank you. And we teach that. We teach etiquette. We teach them how to set a table. We,
Oh,
we
I love it.
teach them
Love
how,
it.
this is
We
how
need
your
this.
table set should be. This is the way you eat. This is the way you do this. If you don't like something, you just don't go. There's ways to do all of this
That's
stuff.
right.
And we teach that
That's
so that
good.
they know how to do all of those things. We teach them how to do a resume. We teach them
Good.
how to interview.
Too bad you don't take boys, because all I have is boys.
We teach them how to write checks. I know checks are
Checks
kind
are
of
obsolete.
and void.
Yeah, they're
but we
obsolete.
teach them.
That's good,
And
because
they
it's
don't
still
even know.
Yeah, they don't know how to write.
We're
checks.
going to take a sponsor break right quick, and if you're interested in a phlebotomy, we have a school that we would like to introduce you to, A+ School of Phlebotomy, the Art of the Draw, And the CEO is Alicia White. You can contact her at 817-948-0373. And she's going to teach you exactly how to stick that arm and put the needle in there the right way. And not only a state certification, you will get a national certification. And her school is 2 months old. 2 months to go. I mean, it takes 2 months to complete the course. Again, it's called A+ School of Phlebotomy, The Art of the Draw. CEO is Alicia White, 817-948-0373. Okay, lady, let's go back to talking about this. What is the name
Well,
of it
I
again?
think Linda had a
Living your destiny.
You said
Okay,
you
Linda,
teach
what
them
was your
something.
question?
You said, do you teach them?
Oh, my question was, when I was coming up, and that's
Oh,
been a
Lord.
minute.
That's been a
When was
long
it?
time, y'all.
That's been a long time. But when you was talking about the home, it's, in other words, we called it home economics.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what
Where
we
we
call it.
learned how to
Yeah.
set a table, how to
Wash,
do breakfast,
cook,
how to
everything.
wash, how to sew, and all that. And I think that's very encouraging for
is.
a person to have that, you know, because we have got away from the old because they said old stuff is so old,
Old
you know,
school.
old school.
Classy stuff.
Yeah, but
Class.
it was classy.
It was.
Yes.
It was really.
And
Yes.
females and males might have done what they do, but I tell you, they had respect where you didn't
Yes,
know they
ma'am.
was
Yes,
doing
sir.
anything.
Yes.
Right.
You know, and that's good that you guys are teaching.
Doing it. I like the part on the
Crochet.
teaching them how to say. You know, I usually could set a table. I haven't done it in so long now. I don't know where the fork goes. Because we had to do that.
Right.
And now you
Exactly.
can't even get the people around the table.
That's
I
right.
told them for
That's
Thanksgiving, I said, you all gonna
Teach
sit
you
at the
dinner.
table and eat. We're gonna sit at the table. We're not gonna be one in the living room and one here.
Exactly.
Everybody's going to
Right.
sit at the table and eat. And they were like, okay, mama. Okay, mama. Because we've gotten out of that. And,
Right.
Yes,
and
we have.
nowadays, you know,
Yes,
you
we
ask
have.
children, do they know how to cook? What's that, McDonald's?
Yeah.
Whataburger? You know, we eat out. But we need these young girls to
Yes.
know how to cook,
Right.
know
Yes.
how to clean their house.
Exactly.
Not
Know
on
how
that,
to
they
wash.
need to know how to clean their bodies. Do
That's
y'all
right.
teach them
Exactly.
hygiene?
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
we do.
Lord,
Definitely.
please teach them some hygiene.
Y'all need to have Kim come and teach them how to
Hygiene.
walk.
Oh, yeah, Kim can teach them
Kim
how to
come
model.
and do a.
But
Well, we
we-
plan on
class.
having them model in a
She's
fashion
the
show.
one. She's the
I'm so
one.
serious.
February the 1st.
Kim will
Yes.
do that. I would love to come and talk to them too. I want you to get me over there because
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what I
she's
do in my
workshop.
job.
Oh, okay.
I do
Workshops.
resumes. I teach them how to interview. I do it all, girl. I motivate them.
Yeah,
I
she's
get them
wonderful.
going.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
she
have to
does.
come over there.
Yes, she does.
And come in
Elma
and
is
talk to them about, you know,
wonderful.
how to get jobs. That's what I do. I teach them how to
that's-
get
that's
jobs
wonderful.
and how to, you know, research the companies and everything. So I'm gonna have to come and visit you all next year
Yeah.
and see what's over there. But what's the company name again?
Living your destiny.
I want everybody to keep remembering that. Living
your
your
destiny.
destiny.
Mentoring
And where are you all
program.
located? What's the address again?
1329 Glen Garden Drive. It's at New Vision Christian Church.
Okay.
right now.
So and they meet
Located in-
I'm trying to figure out
Every
what part of town is that again?
Third.
On the south side.
Okay.
Behind
Right.
Morningside Middle School. And we meet the third
Morningside
Saturday
Middle
of
School.
each month
Yeah.
from September to May.
Okay, and that time that y'all meet is
10 o'clock
10
to
to
12.
Oh, that's good time. That's good time.
Mama can have some free time. I mean,
Yeah, we want
child needs to
come
be
up.
in school learning something.
And you know what I
in the
would
class
love to
learning.
do? Maybe one time we could schedule a talk show where you can bring some of the kids.
That'll be good.
That would be
Yes.
good to, you know, especially some of those that are in the class, if they want to come in and talk about what they learned, you know, from it. Then maybe get some of your graduates to come in and talk. I want y'all to
Right,
work
that
on
would
that and
be
we can
neat.
have a talk show with them. So
That'd
that
be
would
good.
encourage other youth
Sure
to may
will.
want to come out there that's
Right.
dropping out of school. Because
okay.
we have a high ratio of youth dropping out of school now.
Yes.
And I work with a lot of programs at the Workforce Solutions where we have programs for youth 16 to 25, where if they drop
Right.
out of school, Youth Build is one of them that I love. And they teach them how to build, they teach them how to build houses, they have construction classes, they have IT classes, they have phlebotomy class, they have a lot of classes that a lot of these kids, my nephew graduated from there. I got him into the program and he graduated, and you can get a GED or a high school diploma through this program. So I work with a lot of children. That's how I met Cynthia. I was
ma'am.
going to her school to speak to the kids about it, and one of the kids was just so
Excellent.
disrespectful. He over there doing push-up while I'm talking. And I almost lost my wig that day.
He wasn't my student, y'all. He wasn't my student. It was a combination of.
You see, Cynthia don't want to take no credit.
Right,
for
he
that.
wasn't mine.
No, it was. She was just in there. Okay.
Yeah, I was in there
think
with
she
some
was in-
other.
She was in
there
there
was
with
two
some others.
classrooms. Yeah.
And we got to talking about the talk show and everything. And I looked over and saw. I said, "Wait a minute, hold up." And they thought he the quarterback or
Yeah,
something.
like you supposed to take it. You
Yeah,
supposed to
like
go along with
I
it.
said, "No, sir. You gonna either stop that or you." I said, "Y'all get him
get
up
out.
out of here." And they took him out of here. You know, you have to have. Then one of the people goes, "Oh, ma'am, you need to come and teach at our school." Cause you, I said, "No, baby, because I will be in the penitentiary." That's what my mama would say. She would say, she said penitentiary. I said, "Cause I'll be the forgot it, be a hurt one of those children." But you know, it's just teaching them the respect, and I think you all are
Yes.
doing an awesome job. You building up their self-esteem, and that's where it really starts.
Yes.
Yes.
With the self-esteem, and that's the
you
reason why
go
we have a
anywhere
lot
when
of
you know who you are.
adults
That's right.
that are having problem with that because we work with adults as well. And Linda and I have counseling. We've been through a counseling thing, so we're certified counselors as well. And you have adults that are mentally challenged too, and they take it out on the kids.
Right.
So you know, you all are doing an awesome job. Now, looking at some of the stuff you were saying, your mission. What is your mission thing right there? I like that.
Well, the mission of the Living Your Destiny Mentoring Program is to help encourage and educate young ladies about spiritual growth, self-esteem, social etiquette, health, and their developing bodies. Our goal is to create an environment of trust for the young ladies and open their minds to new experiences and opportunities. Some of our objectives is to improve their self-esteem, as we've talked about, improve their relationships, develop and improve their life skills, and provide a positive mentoring relationship.
Okay,
Right.
and that is so awesome.
Yes, it is.
That you all are doing, and you've been doing this for what, 10 years? you
10
said?
years, this is our 10th year.
And y'all started in September?
September 2009, and then we started, this past one started in September.
Wow. You made a statement a while ago that you thought it was going to be your last year until you heard the girl get up and talk. Why did you think it was going to be your last year?
Because a lot of the girls that had grown up with the program, a lot of them were graduating out.
Okay.
And so we weren't getting any new ones that were
Okay,
coming
okay.
in. And so I felt like, okay, maybe this is our swan song. But it wasn't.
So when you
wasn't, so
heard
we've
that,
got-
you decided, what, no, we're not going to stop. And then what happened? Did the girls started coming in?
or
We
what?
had girls to start talking to their friends and everything. And so we've got a new crew of young
How many do
ladies
you
there.
have now?
We have 11.
Oh, y'all are still doing good.
We have
Gosh, that is so awesome. And I told you, Rochelle, I said that hour will
I'm
go so
encouraged.
fast. And it doesn't even seem like we've been up here almost an hour, right? And I told her that. She was like, "Oh, a whole hour?" I said, "Girl, that hour will go so fast because we're going to have people like Linda that ask questions." And we
I would have said too, is there an answer to my prayer? Because I said, Lord, where's the women to teach the younger women, like it says in the Bible? It says, let the older women teach the younger women how to be keepers
Yes.
of the home, how to love their husbands.
Yes.
I was like, where are these women at?
We're
Because-
right here.
Okay.
We're right here.
And then so I'm saying,
right
that I
here.
just take my hat off to y'all.
I give them a hand clap.
We're right here.
That is awesome. Because
Right
you know, a
here.
lot of times, I love working with youth, but I really applaud you all for doing that because you all are
Right
dedicating
here.
you all time, y'all go to those places. But before we close out, I want you all to tell me or tell the audience, Facebook and YouTube, because we air on Facebook and YouTube. What advice or what kind of encouraging words that you want to leave to the audience about your program? I want you,
Yeah, it's your turn.
and
It's your
Rochelle,
turn.
come on, I want to hear from both of you all.
Like Rochelle said, we just want the ladies to come in and with a positive mind, you know, an open mind. You know, if you want to learn this, that, or whatever, we're here to help you. You know, and so let's just come together, you know, and let's discuss everything that you see going in your life. Nothing what is the saying? Joy comes in the morning.
Right.
You
Endure
know,
for the night, but joy comes in the
yes.
morning.
Anything might
You're
endure
gonna
for the
see a
night,
way
but
out.
joy comes in the morning. So if you're having a problem, it's gonna be okay. Just wait until the
Yes.
morning.
Yes.
Everything is gonna be all right. And if you keep God first,
There you keep it.
everything was gonna fall in line.
That's right.
So
That's right.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Do you,
You're showing out.
I'm glad she talking.
Get it out.
Julie shouldn't say too much, Rochelle.
okay. That's
Y'all
true.
must have hit a point tonight.
yeah, do you guys work during the day?
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
retired.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Spend some time with you.
You work doing it.
I
now.
do
She
have
does.
a
Okay.
8 to 5.
Okay.
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 This is a busy lady, I'm telling
Okay.
you.
Do
Very,
y'all
very
have like
busy.
a Facebook page, a social media page, if someone wants to come and just kind of see what you do?
We do not have a Facebook page or a web page. What we do have is our church website. There are some pictures out there that depict some of the things that we've been doing. In our church website is newvisiondoc.com. Newvisiondoc.com.
So they would have to call
What's the phone number again?
the name of the church,
The name of the church is New Vision Christian Church,
phone number?
and the phone number to the church is 817-536-5170. And the email address, if you wanted
yeah,
to reach
that's
out
good.
to Living Your Destiny, is livingyourdestiny2009@gmail.com. Again, the email is livingyourdestiny2009@gmail.com.
Okay. And invite them to your church.
Yes,
Right.
definitely. Come out and see us at New Vision Christian Church on Sunday morning, 10:45 a.m., where Reverend Kirk D. Williams is our pastor. Again, New Vision
pastor.
Christian Church is located at
Living the dream.
1329 Glen Garden
She's the
Drive.
secretary too.
Oh, she is.
So she is busy.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Oh, my goodness.
You want them to tell you what they call you?
What they call
What
you,
they call
Rochelle?
They affectionately call me the General.
The General! Rochelle, the General! And I'm going to name Jeanie. I dream of Jeanie. I'm going to rub on Jeanie and see if the Jeanie going to pop out.
I wish.
Make my wish come true, okay? But we've had so much fun with Jeanie and Rochelle tonight with Living
Your Destiny.
Before we
Mentoring
close
program.
again, if you would like to be one of our sponsors, please contact me. You can messenger me on Facebook, or you can contact me at 817-648-6535. We would love for you to sponsor the Talk of Life Talk Show with Elma, and we will do your sponsor commercial during our program so everybody can see and hear about your business. Again, we so happy that you tune in every Monday at 7 p.m. With the Talk of Life Talk Show with Elma. Love you. We're about to close out.
Amen.